Welcome to another episode of the Headlight Restoration Pro, where I'll be showing you how to take headlights like these, beat up, old, never restored,
Oh, hell no.
can't even see at night, turn them into something like this. Picture perfect, better than the day it rolled off the lot, and functioning at more than peak performance. If I had to guess, about 110%.
Perfect.
And why headlight restoration is such a spectacle. Stay tuned.
Actually, you see, it's a combination of both. Here is the natural instinct and here is control. You are to combine the two in harmony. Not if you have one to the extreme, you will be very unscientific. If you have another to the extreme, you become all of a sudden a mechanical man.
Spectacle is usually defined as anything presented to the sight or view, especially something of a striking or impressive kind.
Let's get down to business. This is an Infiniti QX 56, 2012. A very, very, very nice vehicle. It's actually a very rare vehicle. You're not going to see too many of these on the road. And this headlight has never received headlight restoration. And that's a good thing for me. Although it looks very messed up and beat up, this is actually the polycarbonate naked that is, beat up, not the clear coat. There's very small spaces here and here and here that have a little bit of clear coat residual, but this falls under the number 9 effect that I mentioned in this video here, which is the second best and easiest way to get headlight restoration. And if you want more information about that, you got to check that video out. It'll tell you why this type of light is the easiest. But basically, there it goes through 1 through 9, 1 being the hardest. 1 through 10, 1 being the hardest, and 10 being the most easiest way to get your headlights done. This one was pretty much all of the existing clear coat is gone through oxidation and evaporation. They just disintegration. It just slowly disintegrates through time and just disappears. Just, as far as you're concerned, disappears. But it's more like of an evaporation. The product just breaks down and, lifts off, comes off, little particles at a time, and it ends up like this, to where you have a naked headlight. And what that does is it just makes it easier, because even the lightest and most mildest clear coat is a lot more difficult than just resurfacing a headlight. But like I said, this vehicle is very nice. I've always kind of wanted one of these. They're very large, very luxurious, and they're very good looking for an SUV. You can use it to floss with, or you can use it for a family vehicle, or you can use it for an off-road vehicle. If I'm not mistaken, this does come in 4-wheel drive, which I believe this one is. It's chrome on chrome, or silver on silver with chrome highlights, and I believe it had gray interior, a leather interior, whatnot. But a very sleek looking vehicle, and also very rare. You're not going to see too many of these on the road. They don't make too many of them. They're very expensive, and they're just rare. Not too many people have them. But it is an Infiniti. It's their SUV, top of the line luxury SUV. And the headlights are rather big. They are a large variety of headlight. And, the person was complaining, the customer was complaining about not being able to see. Like at nighttime, I can't see anything, and this and that. And that's because they have what I refer to as the white spectrum, okay? The headlight is only going to go bad in 2 different ways, okay? And it all depends on what type of headlight it is and what type of vehicle it is, and different things that go on that make headlights go bad, which is on this video here. As far as why headlights go bad, you can check that out, and that will tell you, clue you in on different ways that might affect a headlight different or whatnot, or why they go bad. But far as the spectrums of headlights, it's on this video here. Okay, and the reason why I cue these videos off here is just because I can only give you so much information about one given thing on a video. If you want to like take notes and say, oh, I'm going to find out what he's talking about there, boom. I can only give you so much snippets about, that kind of stuff in these videos because this video is not about that. It would take a whole video to explain that, but I will touch bases on it. But anyways, there's two spectrums. There's only two ways a headlight goes bad. You'll never see a purple headlight. You'll never see a green headlight. You'll never see a golden headlight. You never see no shit like that. It goes bad in two spectrums, okay? But actually three ways, okay? And the third way is a mixture of the first two ways, okay? It goes bad in a white spectrum where there's a lot of white stuff on the headlight like this, okay? And it goes bad in a yellow spectrum, which is it's very yellow like this. Looks yellow. And they're both pretty much the same thing. They're oxidized, whatever, but it happens two different ways because basically the headlight makeup. The headlight is always going to be made of the same thing, polycarbonate, okay? But as I always use the burger reference, it's like telling these car companies or, like metaphorically, if the car companies were burger companies or restaurants or whatever, they say you have to make burgers, right? How many different ways, that's just pretty broad. You have to make a burger. How many different types of burgers can you make? Like infinite. So there's different additives and different things in there, but predominantly it is polycarbonate. And this, contributes to the different hardnesses of lights and the different wear of lights. A light like this that goes completely white is a little bit more of a harder or firmer substance, okay? Either mid-grade hard or hard, okay? That's how I break them down. There's either a soft or like a medium soft or, a little bit harder soft. And then there's, the medium brackets where it's medium, hard or medium soft or whatever. And then the hard brackets where it's, hard soft or hard. Hard would be like the crazy insane, the Kias or whatever. And let's take it back to soft would be like a Toyota, not even a Toyota, like a Lexus. They're prone to have the yellowing because they are super soft. But basically, when a headlight is super hard like that, it doesn't have a lot of oil deposits left over. All headlights have oil deposits inside of them, believe it or not. And the sun, bakes the headlight and makes them come out a little bit. But when there's not much to come out, okay, and sidebar, all headlights are derivative of oil. This plastic, this polycarbonate, is made and derivative from oil, kind of like a distillery process or whatnot. It's very scientific, not going into that, but it's insane. They make them out of oil and it comes out in these little pellets and pieces, and then they heat them up again and they press them into or inject them into these molds and press them into these shapes. And then they take them out and it's a headlight lens. Okay, so believe it or not, if something is derivative for something, it probably has traces or a little bit of it left in there somewhere, right? So the harder they are, the less traces left behind. When they make them a softer one, kind of like the Lexuses or certain Toyotas, whatever, they tend to have a little yellow tinge to them. Why? Because those oil deposits are rising to the surface. Okay, they're rising to the surface and they're drying. Okay, and this is also, you're probably like, that fucking headlight guy, he's full of shit this time. But watch that video and it'll actually show you and explain to you this one process. This one thing is why you can even check. You don't have to do all the scientific work and all the research and stuff like I have. You can just check it when you spray oven cleaner or something. I've seen some people spray oven cleaner on it, or they spray like a cleaner on it or whatnot, or why when you use the wipes from the Cerakote kit and all that yellow stuff comes off and it drips off. In that video, it drips off. It drips off. I show you that, and you can just see the yellow dripping. That is the polycarbonate oil that's inside the light. And just newsflash, That is partially why a lot of people always freak out. Like, how come you don't clean the headlight with, alcohol after you do the polishing? You leave, little traces of polish not on there. And I'm like, yes, there is inside of those pockets, because once again, polycarbonate is a spongy surface, or like a woven blanket. Stuff penetrates and stays in there. So after breaking down and polishing the surface and leveling it out more, there's little deposits of beneficial oil in those pockets. Okay, and that is replacing them, which leads to headlight health. It stops cracking and spider cracking. It enhances the clarity. Okay, it does all kind of beneficial things, which you can also see in this video right here. This video right here is a must watch. Okay, this explains to you why I leave that, or it's really not left. I mean, it's gone. You can't touch it or feel it, but there's still some embedded in there, and why it's so beneficial for your super clarity. Why are my headlights so clear and look so good? They look like they're glowing, or they're soaked in wet. They're soaked in clear honey or something, right? They look crazy, better than they were off the rock. This is one of the main components of why that is. Okay, so it's really important to watch that video. But nevertheless, it's replacing some of those oils that are stripped out of the light. That's why this method is very beneficial, and this method is very healthy for your headlights. And you say, I'm not worried about headlight health. If you plan on keeping a vehicle, for more than 5-6 years, you should worry about headlight health, okay? Because this shit can really pop off really fast. You can get cracking, you can get all these things done really fast. It only take one summer, one hot summer. That's within 300 whatever days, 365 days, right? One summer within that time, if you're doing your headlight restoration, to start cracking and fucking up your headlights. And then it makes them softer and brittle. You can be driving on the freeway, and I got all these spider cracks because I did my headlights fucked up or whatever, and a rock hits your headlight. What happens? Crack, boom. Some of these headlights are so damn expensive. I'm not sure how much this headlight is. When I edit it, I'm gonna put it up right here. That's how fucking expensive these headlights are, right? Now, you don't want to play with something like that, because it's like, man, you got bills to pay, you got kids, you got shit. You might want a PS5, but now you got to pay for this shit because you fucked up and had your headlights done by a jackass, or you did it wrong and you didn't care about headlight health. But anyhow, let's get back on topic here. I was just explaining all those things, and why I kind of tell you guys what videos to look at, and it's fine to take notes. All these videos are on my page. Okay, they're previous videos. I've had so many videos because I can't sum up everything in once. It's a lot of knowledge. It's a lot of things. I learn stuff every day. I learn stuff every week. I'm studying and educating and training and testing things every week, every day, and and it's been a long road of doing a lot of headlights. So I can't sum all that up in one. Headlights are a lot more complicated than you think. And I know there's some jackass watching it right now. What is he talking about? I just get the stuff off and I clear coat it. Anything I get lacquer thinner. I just put 2K clear. I do anything. I'll put acrylic, hobby kit acrylic on there and just paint it on, and it's good. Like, there's always some jackass, and it's like, people are so blind. They're like, come on, man, look at the fucking videos. Look at all these videos. And I guarantee you, if you're true to yourself, you're going to say, I'm just not as good as that. My product doesn't come out as good as that. Even if you say, hey, it comes out good enough to sell, okay, it doesn't have to be as good as mine to be a headlight professional. It really doesn't have to be. I'm just, on the next level. I want my product to be exemplary for a professional. I want to be on the highest level of professionalism. I don't want to just sell a product that's good enough to sell. That's my own personal preference. This is why I do all these things. This is why I study all this. This is why I'm on here telling you guys about these things. So spectacle. Why is headlight restoration a spectacle, or such a spectacle? As you know, as I said earlier, a spectacle is just something that's amazing, that catches everybody's eye, that everybody wants to know about. everybody wants to see what's going on. When they see you, when people out there see you, like half the people I get, half the customers I get didn't really even know headlight restoration was a thing. It's been around for a while, but to be able to shoot the shit this good, to be able to have the headlight look better and work better than the day it rolled off the lot is a new thing. Okay. It's a fairly new thing. Okay. Back in the day, they could do it, 10 years ago, they could do it, but not on the level that people are doing it today. Some of the people that are professionals that I see, and I'd be like, they're okay. They're like, yeah, they're okay. I give them a 3-star, I give them a 2.5 star. That person, those people are doing shit way more advanced and way better than people were doing it 10 years ago. Okay. So hats off to whoever that is or who they are, whatever. It's not a competition. If anything, you're competing with yourself. You're not competing with me. You're not competing with another person. You're competing with yourself. Always compete with yourself and, make things better for yourself and make your skill and craft better. But with that being said, a spectacle is, something that's going on that's crazy, people want to watch, people want to see, they're intrigued. This person who called, who wanted their headlights done, could not see at night through these headlights, and they did not expect it to come out this good. I get a lot of people that look at the pictures and they assume I don't know what it is. They don't flat out say it, but I feel like they assume they're photoshopped or there's no way mine could come out that good or whatever, because they're always so shocked when they come out. Him and his wife were like, oh my God, I can't believe this. When I finished this light here, they're like, I just can't believe this. This is incredible. It's like magic. It's like better than when we got the vehicle. And I assume they got the vehicle fresh off the lot or whatever, right? No, brand new or whatnot. Better than when we got the vehicle. That's what I assume he's speaking about. But they're like, I just can't believe it. And then they step to the other one that is even done. They're like, well, this one he said, this one's the worst one. This was the worst one, right? And I'm like, yeah, I always start with the worst one because it's easier to do the least worst one after you do, the shitty one. So anyhow, he's like, I just can't believe it. And they were just at all and whatever. And then their neighbor pulls up. When I'm finished with that one, when I'm about to start the other one, the neighbor pulls up and another neighbor pulls up, whatever. And they got a kid out there on a bike and they're all just sitting behind me, watching me work on this new light. Right. And they see me start working on it from the, start to finish. Now, mind you, this light here took about 17 minutes or so. Filming and doing all these other things, right? And with the camera in my way and slowing down. And believe it or not, I slowed down a couple notches to, in my head, I'm thinking about what I'm going to be saying on these videos. And I'm trying to highlight and show you guys certain things when I do the lights. And I slow down, I do things different. So the other light took me probably about 14 minutes to do, maybe 13, 14 minutes to do. So they're sitting behind me, and I'm like, I'm a spectacle. I got about 6 people watching, and there's like 3 in the car, and then there's like the 2 owners, the wife and the husband, and then there's like a kid on a bike and another person. And I'm like, okay, so they're behind me, and I used to get nervous, but this happens so often because it's a spectacle. I get people that pull up across the street and sit there and watch you do this because they're like intrigued. And they just never seen nothing like this going on. They don't even know it exists. They don't know what he's doing. They're reading the sign that you put out and they're like, what is that? Is that what he's doing? He's changing it back, right? And they're just freaked out, right? So they're all back there and they are sitting literally the whole time talking while I'm doing this, like to each other and stuff. And, like looking at me and asking questions, what's he doing? And he already did that one. And this is amazing. I can hear certain words, right? But they're generally referencing me. And at the same time, they're talking about other stuff, right? For about 13 minutes of me doing this headlight restoration. And at the end, I shit you not, I sit back, I hit there, blow it off, I spray as I do, clear coat it, boom, 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 and I get my phone ready to take pictures, and what happens? They all start clapping. No shit. They started clapping from inside the vehicle, and they all standing up clapping, and they're like, oh my God, it's amazing, it's magic. and I'm just looking around like, is this a joke? And I'm like, no. At the first, I was really touched. I was like, I can't believe it. This is the first time this has happened. People get excited. Like I said, I've had 2 women in the past cry before, because one of them had like some significant life issue going on, and another one had a divorce, and they had money issues, but they couldn't see. They couldn't see at all, and they cried when they came outside. This is one of the ones for the books as well. I had at least 5-6 people sitting behind me clapping when I finished this next light, which I'll show you at the end what light it was. That was right before I started filming what you'll see at the end. And it was fantastic, and they were like, that is amazing, your work is amazing, and all this stuff like that. And stuff like that'll get you a big head, and stuff like that'll motivate you, because you guys all know I got a big head. But hey, guess what? It's warranted. I am that good. All right, and you can be that good too if you use this method. This is the most scientific method, but at the same time, it's one of the easiest methods as well. It might take a little bit longer, but why? Because it's better. It's a better outcome, and it's better for the customer, and it's better, just all the way around is better. Okay, there's ones that take that might be a little bit quicker or whatnot, but they're not doing what they're supposed to do. They're buffing it out, polishing it. It's gonna come back in a week, and it doesn't look as good. It won't look nowhere near as good as this. So I'm just saying. And then there's other people that try to front like they're doing a fast headlight restoration. But okay, let me tell you something about my videos. When you're saying, oh my God, they're 25 minutes long, they're 20 minutes long, they're 30 minutes long, whatever. I purposely do not cut and snip my videos, okay? It's very rare I do it. It would have to be some kind of mishap or something where I have to cut it and put it back together, whatever. And I usually tell you guys when that happens. But I don't cut and snip my videos. So this is how long things take with the openers and the back ends and the little interludes and all these things like that, and outros and stuff. That's how long the headlight is, and that's what it looks like. That's what I'm seeing from start to finish of the headlight. And I'm showing you this. Some people are like, oh, they try to give you the impression that their headlight takes 10 minutes or their headlight takes 5 minutes to do, 8 minutes to do. Bullshit. What they're doing is, you guys got to pay attention. When they skip scenes, there's shit that you're not seeing. There's a whole lot of shit when they skip here and they skip there. And let me skip here and skip there. All those skips got like 3-4 minutes in between. Okay. And another good measure is nobody's going to be faster than somebody with a drill. Okay. Nobody is hand sanding or wet sanding a headlight and doing a headlight restoration with those kind of methods faster than somebody with a machine. Think about it. That's like saying somebody's going to walk to the corner store faster than somebody can drive. That's like saying somebody's going to, get from New York to San Diego, California, faster because you're, on a motorcycle than an airplane. It's just certain tools are just going to be better than others. In this case, your hand cannot compete with a power drill. It's just plain and simple. Now, I started using hands and wet sanding and all those things like that, but they are inefficient in certain parts of headlight restoration, aspect of headlight restoration. They have a part, I've evolved into what I say is an MMA style of headlight restoration, which takes all the good points of every kind of style and implements them where they belong in a headlight restoration. Okay, the machine sanding and dry sanding in the beginning, and the wet sandings and polishes towards the end. That way, it's a more aggressive approach to the whole method of sanding. Okay, it goes from the dry sanding to the wet sanding to the special, Trizac, to the polish, to the clear coat. Okay, it's very complete, and that's why it looks like this. So everything, or most things that have to do with headlight restoration have negative points and good points. Some things just have all good points, but some things are, in a sense, I don't know, not as good, but still have a good place for it. Technically, in sanding plastic or wood or pretty much anything, the proper order is to dry sand at first, okay? Especially when you add into machinery, okay? It's dry sanding, and then you descend levels of sanding. Okay, wet sanding is a lubricated sanding. It knocks and diminishes the sanding capability. And that's why it is perfect for the end part of sanding towards the end. So anyways, clear coat. That means you got a bang clear coat that's going to protect your headlight until it's gone. But anyhow, with that being said, man, wet sanding is amazing and it has a place where it belongs. And that is at the end of your process. Wet sanding is a fine tune, is a smoothing, is a fine, it's the final step, pretty much. If you Google it, it'll tell you wet sanding and dry sanding. Wet sanding is the final step, okay? If you start with the final step, what sense does that make, right? And it's like people misunderstand. I don't talk shit about these things. I'm just saying it's more like a training wheel for beginners. And this is where they were clapping, before I filmed this. It's more of a training wheels for beginners. But, a more experienced person is going to know it has its place. Okay, I'm not talking shit about it. I'm just saying its place is not at the beginning of a headlight restoration. Google will even tell you textbook sanding the proper way is to dry sand at the beginning and wet sand as a finisher. Stay tuned, my friends. It's best to wet sand the final finish of a project. Dry sanding removes more material and smooths rough material quickly. If you want a glossy finish, you'll start with dry sanding and then move on to wet sanding. Dry is excellent for initially smoothing a material, whereas using a wet sandpaper can drastically improve upon the smoothness while removing scratches. Wet sanding also creates less dust, making it easier to clean up after the job is done. However, this method tends to result in a finish that is less smooth than dry sanding. Imagine that. Stay tuned, my friends.
What I'm saying, actually, you see, it's a combination of both. Here is the natural instinct, and here is control. You are to combine the two in harmony. Not if you have one to the extreme, you will be very unscientific. If you have another to the extreme, you become all of a sudden a mechanical man.